What's up, guys? This your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past few days, where we do have some topics that need to be covered. Firstly, Barcelona's options in the pivot position are being revealed at the moment. Barcelona do plan on making some sort of move in the January transfer window. We have two options currently. Firstly, Guido Rodriguez, who's a very experienced player that will be very cheap, and of course we do have Vermeeren, who is a young player that will be very expensive. We'll talk about that. And of course, Barcelona try to look at the free agent market, and one of their main targets right now is Nico Williams. We do have an update on his potential signing, and again we do have some more general news as well about renewals in regards to Xavi and Balde, and also with Frenkie de Jong. Frenkie de Jong and Xavi have confirmed over the past few days that talks are on for Frenkie de Jong's renewal, and the club do hope to complete this by the end of this year to help, of course, in the January transfer window. And finally, we do have some leaked images of the away and third kit for next season, and they're looking absolutely fuego. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. Also, if you're new, make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, before we get into this video is sponsored by Number One Foot. Number One Foot is one of the best replica football jersey websites on the market right now. They have a variety of different items at absolutely fantastic prices. For me here today, I'm going to show you guys the training kit from this season. This is the warm-up kit that the players use when they go out for training every single day, pre-games as well. You have here the Spotify logo. They have the club badge on it with the diamond as well. And I also have here one of the sweaters they have from last season. This was the Catalunya version. It feels like I bought this from the Nike store directly. The quality is absolutely unreal. The printing is fantastic. And of course, mainly the prices are unbeatable. And if you use the discount code BOY at checkout, you do get an additional 15% off your final order. That is BOY. Use it at checkout. You get 15% off your order, and all orders above $80 as well will guarantee you free shipping. So what are you waiting for? Click the top link in the description down below and get your new football kits today. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past few days. Now, we're first going to be discussing one of the main priorities for Barcelona in the upcoming January transfer window, and that is, of course, to reinforce the pivot position, which is the only position currently that does not have any depth in it. Now, Franco Rasmus Sports come out saying that Barcelona is still interested in Guido Rodriguez, although the plan is to arrive for free in June, but he's not ruled out the player could arrive in January if there is some room for fair play. So again, the club still have their eyes on Guido Rodriguez. He is a cheap, versatile, and experienced option right now that is available. Again, I think we already have that in Oil Romeo. This is not really a target that I'm too keen on. If the club want to do it for a year or two, I mean, I get it. If there's no suitable replacement out there, they're gonna say, I thought Romeo was only going to be for this season, but they're having Romeo for, they have plans to have Romeo for this season and next season. Then I mean, it's understandable, especially when he's going to be dirt cheap as well, has some experience, so you can't really go wrong there. I think Guido Rodriguez is a very good player, of course, has a league experience as well, but where I hope the club will invest, of course, is young, and the current young player that we are being linked with is Vermeeren, who of course did play against Barcelona the other day. He looked alright, to be fair, but he is in a side that's getting absolutely dominated. Now, there are reports coming in from Sports saying that Barcelona have scouted Belgium star-led Vermeeren live for more than one occasion. He is an option for the future. Now, Deca was asked after the match against Antwerp on Tuesday on the Vermeeren interest. He said that on Vermeeren, we are following some players and we'll have to wait and see. So again, there's a bit of a nod there of the confirmation of the interest in Vermeeren. I think if you're looking at Guido Rodriguez for free or Vermeeren for 20-30 million euros, the choice is clear, of course, but again, it's about what's the club's plan. Are they going to go spend 60 million this summer on a Zubamendi or on a Kimmich or on a top level pivot, or is there a plan to bet on Romeo for the next season or two? Because if there is, of course, that will control who you bring in as that alternative option. For me personally, I still want to see a bit more Vermeeren. I think he did play well against Barcelona. I've seen a few clips of him, but I want to see how he develops this season at Royal Antwerp. And again, I think 30 million is quite the amount of money to splash on someone who's very, very young, but again, has the talent for sure. So wait and see what happens. But again, the club is keeping a very close eye on the pivot market. Now, on the topic of free agents, Barcelona is already diving into the free agent market, as they tend to do during this time of year, to plan for their new free agent signings next year around February, March, and April time. And one of their main targets is the young Spanish winger Nico Williams. Now, the Audio AS have come out saying that Aston Villa have joined Liverpool alongside Barcelona in the race to sign Athletic Bilbao's 21-year-old winger Nico Williams, who is out of contract next summer. We got some more confirmation from Mundo Deportivo saying that as of now, Nico Williams is prioritizing his contract renewal with Athletic Club. Barcelona would be his second option. His move to the Premier League right now is essentially 99% ruled out. So that kind of pushes, of course, Liverpool and Aston Villa to the side. Having Barcelona as your backup option isn't too bad, of course. And I was thinking about this the other day. Of course, right now in the squad, we have 4 wide forwards, wingers: Rafinha, Ferran Torres, Joao Felix, and Lamine Yamal. If you're going to add Nico Williams to that, someone's going to have to leave. Of course, the easy answer is Joao Felix, because his loan deal will expire, but what happens if he does well for the rest of the season and Barcelona buy him? Then who do you sell next? Will it be Ferran Torres? We'll have to wait to see how his season develops. Will it be Rafinha? Will you loan out Lamine Yamal? So there's a bit of a problem there. Then also you have to remember, we do have Ansu Fati coming back on loan from loan. Do you sell him? Do you loan him back again? So I understand why the club and Xavi more specifically are interested in Nico Williams. I think he's a brilliant winger, especially when he's Spanish, one of the up-and-coming young talents in the world of football. I mean, his 1v1 dribbling is absolutely stellar. He has that La Liga experience now as well. I think he's played now 2 seasons as a regular for Athletic Club. But I don't know how he fits. I think it's very interesting to see what the club's plan is. Are we just going for him just because he's good and he's free? Do we need him? I think if Nico Williams leaves, we're looking at least 1 to 2 wingers leaving, whether it's permanently or on loan. I'm not quite too sure. I think this is quite the rogue signing, if I may add. But we'll wait and see with Nico Williams. But again, currently he is prioritizing his renewal with Athletic Club. But if that does not happen, his second option would be Barcelona. Now, a player that we haven't been linked with a very, very long time, but his name has come out again, being linked with Barcelona, and it is Alexander Isak. Of course, before we signed Lewandowski, he was one of the few names on the list for Barcelona, and in the end, of course, he did end up signing with Newcastle that summer. But there are reports saying that Barcelona are keen on signing Newcastle's Alexander Isak as a replacement for the 35-year-old Robert Lewandowski. I'm thinking, is Victor Roque just made a chopped liver? I mean, what is the point of that? Now, I get it. If Victor Roque comes in, Lewandowski leaves, Victor Roque will need some competition and coverage as well. I like Alexander Isak. I think he's a very, very good player. I think his model of a striker is very similar to Zlatan, but he has more pace. Of course, distract yourself on the fact that he's also Swedish. I think he's done very well. Newcastle, of course, was a killer striker back in his Real Sociedad days, and of course did well for Dortmund. Wouldn't mind this. Again, I had to look at the transfer fee, of course. Newcastle did invest heavily in him. He is the record signing at around 70 million euros. But I think, again, the club right now do have other priorities. Of course, we're probably looking at another fullback, whether it's right back, left back. We need a pivot as well. So I think those are going to be ahead in the pecking order for sure. You could look at center back if Eric Garcia is sold, and Nico Martinez, of course, only signed a short-term deal. So keep your eyes on it. I think Barcelona have always been interested in Alexander Isak. Even before he joined Real Sociedad, we were heavily linked with him. I remember back in my early days on YouTube, I was talking about Isak a lot. So wait and see. But I think, again, right now, too early of reports at the moment. Still has a long-term deal with Newcastle. And, of course, Barcelona aren't really too keen on a new striker at the moment. Let's now discuss some contract renewal updates around the first team at Barcelona. Firstly, some exciting news, and finally, this man was driving my head in with his freaking renewal rumors. It's been made official yesterday that Alejandro Balde has renewed his contract until 2028, and he does have the 1 billion euro release clause. We are expecting a presentation to be happening at some point today. Hopefully that is the case. I think Balde does deserve it. But it's finally made official. Again, we're now looking at Lamine Yamal being next, maybe even Xavi as well. We'll talk about Xavi in a few seconds. But this renewal, of course, 100% deserved for Balde. He's going to get a salary increase, of course. He's an official first-team player. I saw Koundé joke about Balde's renewal, saying he can finally buy the watch that Kessié owed him, of course, for scoring against Espanyol last season. He can afford it now on his own, which, I mean, in retrospect, isn't false. But you know what? I love the banter. And finally, man, we've been talking about Balde's renewal since I remember back at the beginning of December. Man, I said, oh, I hope we can renew him before the World Cup starts, before the World Cup ends. Oh, hopefully before the international break. Oh, reach agreement at the end of, what was it, April or May. He's going to renew before he goes on the U.S. Tour. He's now renewed. We're going to make it official after the U.S. Tour. After the U.S. Tour, he didn't have a presentation. Oh, wait, season started. It's been dragging out for so long, but finally it has been made official. Alejandro Balde has committed his future to Barcelona until 2028, and again, he does have the €1 billion release clause. Now, along with Lamine Yamal, the next person who will be 100% getting a renewal at Barcelona is, of course, the first team manager, Xavi Hernandez, with Luis Rojo from Marca coming out saying that Xavi has renewed his contract until 2025, and an automatic renewal clause is also inserted with dependent on the results in the future. And this is exactly what I said in my video the other day when we heard about the FFP issues. I said, you know what, Barcelona could probably offer him a 1-year renewal plus a 1-year option depending on things turning out, because again, his renewal initially was supposed to be until 2026, but FFP is being a little bit of a, you know, bitch, so we can't renew our manager for 2 years because of these rules, which, you know, again, just fucking boggles my mind. Anyways, again, Xavi's renewal is set. Fabrizio Romano did tweet when he was tweeting about the Alejandro Balde renewal. He said next up will be Lamine Yamal and Xavi. He said Lamine Yamal until 2026. And he also specified Xavi will be until 2025 as well. So in the end, Xavi, his renewal will be made official very soon. We're looking like until 2025, but there will be an option to another year depending if certain criterias are met. And the final contract renewal update is on the contract renewal of Frenkie de Jong, which you could say is the club's next priority after, you know, making these renewals official of Xavi, Yamal, and of course Balde as well. Fabrizio Romano has come out saying that Frenkie de Jong wants to continue at Barcelona because he loves the club and he does love the city, and this came out following quotes from Frenkie and also Xavi after the match against Royal Antwerp. De Jong came out, was asked about his renewal. He said that my agent is taking care of it, but I'm very happy at Barcelona. Now that, of course, signifies to us that talks are on, which I think is very positive, and we can have some sort of a solution for Frenkie de Jong's renewal before the January transfer window comes in. That would be perfect, and hopefully this that salary reduction, of course, will help us in the window to register Victor Roque. Now, Xavi was also asked about the renewal of Frenkie de Jong. He came out saying that Frenkie de Jong is a key player for us. I believe he's in the best moment of his career. He's growing a lot. He's a very vital and essential player for us. Of course, I will renew him with my eyes closed. So again, Frenkie wants to stay. The manager wants to keep him. The club wants him. This should be, I'm not going to say a walk in the park, but this should be, you know, a comfortable renewal with, of course, some negotiations. I'm not saying it's going to be very easy, but after, you know, Ter Stegen's renewed, hopefully that'll give Frenkie some confidence to commit to the future of this club. Again, his contract currently runs out, I believe, in 2026. We want to probably extend that until 2028, defer his salary, so don't give a salary increase or decrease, just have the current salary that he currently has and just stretch it out over those extra 2 years. That'll help the club a lot, of course, and it'll help, of course, bring in Victor Roque in January as well. So we'll wait and see what happens with the future of Frenkie de Jong in terms of his renewal, but again, it's confirmed now that talks are currently ongoing. Let's now discuss some of the news surrounding Barcelona over the past few days. Now, along with Frenkie de Jong, one of the top performing Barcelona players right now in the squad is Joao Felix, who again is currently on loan from Atletico Madrid, and Barcelona are already thinking about buying him permanently, but see it very complicated. Now, having Miguel from AES, who of course is very close to Xavi, has come out saying with every goal Joao Felix scores for Barcelona, he is getting further away from the club. Barcelona don't have a purchase option next year, and a lot of top clubs are already starting to notice his performance. Barcelona are barely paying anything to Joao Felix as well. He reduced his salary a lot for the 1 year, but with the club's financial situation, they can't compete with any top team who are already starting to generate interest in signing him next summer. Inside the Barcelona dressing room, there's concern about Joao Felix. How can a player have such quality and not continue with us, they ask. With his performances, the price tag to sign him next summer will exceed 100 million euros, which of course Barcelona cannot afford. Whoa, 100 million for Joao Felix. That's essentially what Atletico Madrid paid. I think right now, if we were to buy Joao Felix from Atletico Madrid tomorrow, I wouldn't pay a penny over 70 million euros. I think that's right now his current valuation. Of course, keep in mind, he did renew his contract for 2 years with Atletico Madrid to, you know, spread out the amortization for his transfer fee from Benfica. 100 million, of course, is not worth it. I'd rather spend that 100 million on a pivot. I'd rather bring in another fullback to compete with Alejandro Balde. I'd rather buy Joao Cancelo with that as well. Again, we're talking about Nico Williams on a free transfer. We still have Ansu Fati come back on loan. We have players to, you know, cover the potential exit of Joao Felix. Of course, he's a fantastic player. I hope everything goes well from now to the end of the season. We end up maybe buying him, but if the club are trying to see it now as very complicated, what's going to happen next? Will the club start will Xavi start playing Lamine Yamal, Rafinha, and Ferran more? Will he be on the bench more? I'm not quite too sure. But the reality is that buying Joao Felix next summer, if his current form stays the same for the entire season, will be very, very difficult. Not only will he have about 250,000 euros a week wages at Atletico Madrid, but Atletico Madrid want a huge transfer fee on top of that as well. Keep in mind, Joao Felix was doing an interview with Mundo Deportivo last night alongside João Cancelo. He came out saying that, yeah, I'm making next to nothing at Barcelona, but I want to be here. This is a club I want to be at. I'm very happy. I think Cancelo came out saying that Man City is the best team in the world, but when Barcelona calls you, you make the answer. So again, Joao Felix, he's committed his future to Barcelona for this season. He's made an ultimate amount of sacrifices. He's only making 400,000 from September until June from Barcelona alone. Of course, what happens between him and Atletico Madrid, I'm not too sure. Apparently, he has given up the entirety of his salary, which is absolutely mental. But we'll wait and see. Again, you can be optimistic. We have been finessed by Atletico Madrid quite a few times. David Villa, Suarez, Memphis, Antoine Griezmann. Maybe this is Barcelona's time to finesse them a bit. We never know. We'll wait and see. But again, right now, Barcelona do see it complicated with the current rise of Joao Felix to buy him permanently next summer. From one loanee to another, a player who Barcelona loaned out last summer, of course, in the final day of the transfer window, Eric Garcia. We've been hearing a lot of contradictory reports about his fear clause. As we all know, Barcelona put in a fear clause into players' loan contracts who can end up facing Barcelona, very likely that they cannot play against Barcelona unless the parent club does pay somewhat of a penalty fee. Of course, last season with Nico and Abdi, it was around 300,000 euros. We're hearing it's the same thing for Pablo Torre. Now with Eric Garcia, we got some reports in the beginning saying from Tony Juan Martí saying that, oh, there's no fear clause, he can play against Barcelona. I think it was Rocha Solero or Fernando Polo. Someone from Mundo Deportivo came out saying that, oh wait, he does actually have the fear clause, he cannot play against Barcelona. But now the most reliable journalist in Girona is reporting that there is no clause for Eric Garcia that states that he cannot play against Barcelona. He will be available. Again, like I said the last time we talked about this, we'll wait and see. I think 2 days before, we'll get the definitive concrete answer from everyone, because right now it's about 50-50. You have two people saying that there is a fear clause, you have two people saying that don't have it, but the two people who don't saying it are very, very reliable. Of course, this one from Candacer, very close to Girona, and of course Tony Juan Martí, top tier. But then again, Rocha Solero was absolutely stellar throughout the whole entire transfer window. Fernando Polo from Mundo Deportivo, always very reliant, so we'll wait and see. Again, I don't know why Barcelona wouldn't put it in, because again, you don't want to hinder our development in the league. What has if Eric Garcia plays and has a masterclass and we drop points, and in the end we lose the league title to, I don't know, Real Madrid by 2 points. It's gonna be because of him, and I will criticize the club beyond belief. And again, I thought the club really learned from last season of having these fear clauses in the loan players' contracts. But again, we'll wait and see. According to reports currently, Eric Garcia does not have the fear clause and can play against Barcelona, but only time will tell. Let's now take a look at some of the injury updates around the first team at Barcelona. Of course, Araujo should be fit for this weekend's match against Celta Vigo, which now leaves Pedri as the only injured first team Barcelona player. Now, according to Catalunya Radio, they've come out saying the expectation for Barcelona now is that Pedri will be 100% fit, fully available for the El Clasico next month. Now, it is on the 29th of October, if I'm not mistaken, the final weekend of the month of October. We are hearing that Pedri will hopefully be back the weekend before against Athletic Club. Again, I think Pedri has to be on the bench for the previous match to have a chance of starting the Clasico, and I think honestly in the end Pedri won't start the Clasico. I would be shocked if he ends up walking in as a starter. I think he will be on the bench. I cannot see him starting. I think right now we're in good form. We'll have to wait and see what happens from now until the end of October. We could lose all of our games 5-0. We could win them all 5-0. You never know, but I think that Pedri, he will be available, but I don't think he'll start. And then after the October international break is where we see Pedri really cook. I think actually the Madrid game is after the October international break. So after the match against Madrid, I think that's when Pedri will start to come back in the squad as a starter and start to cook. I think the Clasico might come a bit too early for him, but we'll wait and see. The club do expect him to be at least on the bench for the match, but whether he'll be a starter or not remains to be seen. Now, over the past few weeks or so, we have been getting a lot of leaks about Barcelona's kit for next season being released. Again, the home kit has been pretty standard. I talked about this in a few transfer videos ago about the details of it, the badge, the shirt, and everything like that. But now we have the away kit and also the third kit being leaked. On the screen right now, you can see the possible and most likely away kit for Barcelona next season. It looks like it'll be all black with a couple of Blaugrana colors around the shirt. I honestly think it's very, very good. I would like to see the Spotify logo gold. If the Spotify logo is gold, this might be one of the best kits of all time. I'm not even kidding. I think the red kind of blends in a lot with these stripes down the armpit, and then of course the collar stripe as well. If you can make it a different color, I think something on this kit has to be gold for it to stand out. Whether it's the Barcelona emblem and the Nike emblem like around it, that would be sick as well. I wouldn't make any of them permanently gold, but if that Spotify logo is gold, I think we're absolutely flying. Now, of course, finally is the third kit, which is on the screen right now. This is pretty generic, if I'm being totally honest. Very similar to the one of this season. It's kind of the same color way. Of course, this season's a bit of a teal. This looks like a little bit of a lime green. I think it looks all right, to be honest. This would be probably like a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, very, very average. I think this is probably an 8 out of 10, but could be a 9 or a 10 out of 10 if the club have the right details. So again, this is the away kit for next season, and this will be the third kit. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on the design. Honestly, I really like both of them, but of course the second kit does walk away as the clear winner in my opinion. Now, the final topic that I wanted to discuss before I end off this video is in regards to Barcelona's FFP fair play margin. Of course, coming up the January transfer window, where Barcelona do want to make a few acquisitions. What are the margins needed for Barcelona to make some movements? According to Rack-Un, Barcelona need around 200 to 300 million euros to return to the 1-1 fair play rule, which of course is the club's objective from now until the summer. Again, in January, a reduction of a player's salary, a sale, or a lever is needed to bring in Victor Roque and maybe even a Guido Rodriguez. But again, we won't be going back to the 1-1 rule. We'll still be in the 1-4 rule, if I'm not mistaken. But if you get everything needed, the 200 to 300 million euros by the end of the season, we can return to the 1-1 rule. But again, this will come from many things. You get 2.5, 3 million euros for just winning the Champions League game. I think if we reach the quarterfinals, we'll bag around 50 million euros. Of course, we get the sponsorship money coming in. The club might end up selling a player. We'll wait and see. But again, that's a criteria needed for Barcelona to get to the 1-1 rule this summer. Now, Barcelona's bill has been going up recently because Barcelona have been fined by the city of Catalonia 300 euros. Can the Serif come out saying that Barcelona have been fined 300 euros after working on the Spotify Camp Nou outside of the allowed working hours? I did tweet this, and I'm still very firm on this. If Barcelona want to send me the invoice, I will happily cover the charge here. But again, this will not affect Barcelona, so to speak. This is just a little bit of banter. I mean, if they contact 5 Barcelona fans, I guarantee you 5 of them will cover the fee if needs be. But again, just a little banter. I doubt the club are going with problems with that. But besides the point, 200 to 300 million euros needed for Barcelona to return the 1-1 rule for FFP by this summer. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past few days. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. But the main thing, firstly, of course, is your thoughts on the reinforcement in the pivot position. Would you go experience? Would you go young? Will be your budget, and what are your main targets for that position? Second, your thoughts on Nico Williams. Think it's the sign that Barcelona do need. Would you go for him? Would you persuade him? Third, your thoughts on the renewal of Frenkie de Jong. Think it will happen or not, and do you believe it will happen before the end of the month of December to help with Barcelona in the January transfer window? And finally, your thoughts on the late away kit and third kit for next season. And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Take care, and Forza Barca.